Hello, YouTube world, and welcome to VersysCam. This is episode 1.09, and today I am taking you on a little ride with me through one of my favorite places to ride in the Smokies, Cosby, Tennessee. And on this ride today, we're going to be checking out a couple of graveyards. I've been to one of these before, but I've always wanted to go back on my bike. The times I've been before, I have gone in my truck, and so just thought this would be fun to go explore on the bike. And there's another graveyard that I'm also going to be exploring that I've never been to before, and that one, surprisingly enough, I found out had a couple of water crossings, so that turned out to be a nice surprise. This is the reason this is such a beautiful ride. You can see Cosby Creek over there to the right, and the mountains up ahead. This was a little bit of a rainy day, so I apologize for the moisture there on my windscreen, but you'll still be able to get a really good idea of this ride and how much fun it was. And yeah, it was a good day. So let's fast forward a little bit. Okay, we're coming up on our first cemetery here. It is called Trit Cemetery. We'll be turning in right about here. And interestingly, the two cemeteries I'm going to be looking at today are both in the Great Smoky Mountain National Park. So everything on this side of the road is of the highway 32 here, is the Smoky Mountain National Park. On the other side is private properties. So you can see it's been raining. Now there's places to park here along either side of this road, because there are trails that go into the Cosby campground area of the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. Up and down this road here are actually a couple places where you can park here, and there's a horse trail kind of on up in the woods, and you can follow that back over to Cosby Creek, and there's really good trout fishing over there. So yeah, that's how I found out about this road, is friend who told me about it in regards to trout fishing, and then I wanted to come and check out the graveyard. And it's a interesting graveyard. You'll see it in just a moment, but there's 115 graves in kind of a fenced-in graveyard area. And interestingly, there's one grave number 116, which is not inside the fence, and that is because evidently the gentleman who was buried there, his name was Spider John Sutton. He didn't want to be buried in a cemetery. They allowed his grave to be placed outside of the fence, so technically he's not buried in the cemetery. There's some really old graves in this graveyard, dating back to the 1800s, 1899. And then there's also some newer graves in here as well, because this is a graveyard that is still used by folks in this family. You can see there's another car parked here. Like I said, this is a area where people park and like to go hike, and there's trails all back through here. And I'll throw some photos up here for you to see of the actual graveyard. Okay, so moving right along, we'll head back out of this area, and this is a fairly easily accessible area. As you can see, even someone in like a car or SUV can get in here pretty easily. Now the next one that I'll be taking you to is a little bit more difficult. There are a couple of stream crossings, and I've been told that during the springtime the crossings can actually get a little deep. You're going to see in a little while they're actually a little deeper than I expected them to be. At least one of them is, and I got pretty wet myself crossing one of these streams that I'm going to be crossing in a little while. So this is a beautiful area, and I highly recommend this area. Like I said, lots of trails back in here that can be discovered, and just a really neat place to visit. We'll be coming back out here on the main highway in a little while. Now let me tell you just a little bit about the next cemetery that I'm taking you to, because I'm not going to talk a lot while I'm going down that road, because I want you to be able to experience that with me. But this next cemetery that I'll be going to is called the Gilliland Cemetery, and it's a pretty old cemetery as well. In fact, there are some headstones in that cemetery that are actually just pieces of slate that have names and years of births and deaths and stuff chiseled into them. And so they're very, very old, just kind of like rocks stood up in the field, if you will. And the Gilliland name is an important name in the area because John Gilliland, who was a pretty notable soldier from the Revolutionary War, moved into the Cocke County area in the mid to late 1700s, and he actually gave 50 acres of land to be used as the county seat, and that area later became known as Newport. So yeah, so I'm going to be on the pavement here for a little while, so I'm going to just fast forward a little bit. Now, as interesting as all of that information is about John Gilliland being the father of Newport, I'm not so sure that that John Gilliland has anything to do with the Gilliland Cemetery. I'm sure maybe they're connected some way. But there is an individual named John Gilliland III who is buried in the Gilliland Cemetery, and he was married to a lady by the name of Elsie Odell. In fact, if you will look to your left now, you will see an old house sitting back in the woods that is the Gilliland Odell home place. I did not know that that was the Gilliland Odell home place when I took this ride, or I definitely would have parked my bike and walked across over there and explored that a little bit. But yeah, the folks who lived in that house are actually buried in this graveyard. Okay, so if you were driving up here in a four-wheel drive or Jeep, something like that, you'd be golden. But as you can see, if you were just like in a regular car or something like that, not sure you could have made that first crossing. You definitely would not have made that second crossing. And so you would have been parking back there and walking the rest of the way. It's not that far. I'm coming up kind of to the parking area right here. And here's the deal. It's on up the hill. And you can see right now, I'm trying to decide, do I want to ride on up there or not? You can see ahead, that hill is slick clay. And like I said, it's been raining. And people have been riding like ATVs and stuff like that up there. And so you can see where it's all washed out and everything. And I wanted to ride my bike up there so bad. But I have the wrong tires. So right now, I'm running a set of tires that are supposed to be like 50% street, 50% off-road, but they get caked in mud really easily. They do good in gravel and even sand and stuff like that. And as you can see, they did okay in the water back there. But once they get caked in mud, you're done. So I'll definitely be back after I get a new set of tires in the future. I want to do like some 70-30 tires, like 70% off-road, 30% on-road. And I think I could have tackled that hill with those kind of tires. And if it had been dry on this day, I probably still would have tried to tackle that hill, even with the tires that I have on there now. But I did not want to drop my bike, and I did not want to be trying to negotiate it backwards down off of that hill if I got part of the way up and got stuck. So I just backed it up and parked and walked up there. Let me show you a few photos. Well, there you have it. The Tritt and Gilliland Cemeteries in Cosby, Tennessee and Cobb County. They're well worth a visit. And all of this land, like I said, is in the Smoky Mountain National Park. So you can explore all this. There's trails and stuff off of this little dirt road, as well as the other road. So yeah, it's a really cool place to visit, to see. And coming back down here to this water crossing again, I think I learned a little bit on my last time across and realized that I actually crossed it in the deepest spot. So I'm going to hang over here to the side this time and see if I can not get as wet. Yep. So yeah, this would be where you were to park if you were like in a car, and there are some trails that go out of that area as well right there. So and the whole time I was back here, it was just all alone, silence. Love it, being able to get back in places like this and just enjoy the beauty. So yep, gonna let you go. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of the ride out, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will catch you on the next video.